Kale,
Joe.
it's good to see you. Everybody, here's another video from Lowry Financial Advisors. I'm Joe Lowry Jr., this is Kale Flagey, and we're here to talk to you about inflation. Inflation has been in the news a lot, and we do get a lot of questions about it, so it seemed like a good topic for today.
That's right. Maybe I should explain something about the inflation numbers we hear, like the difference between core and headline inflation.
Please do.
Headline inflation includes everything that we track prices for, while the core number excludes food and energy prices.
Now, considering we spend so much money on food and energy, why would you want to exclude those?
That's a good question. This is because the core number tracks only prices that are not affected by interest rates and monetary supply. Food, oil, gas, they all have their own supply and demand aspect.
So we want to know how monetary policy affects prices, but we also want to know how prices are changing based on our use of, the things that we eat and the commodities that power basically everything that we use.
Exactly. Both numbers play a role.
Now, the good news about inflation in July is that both measurements were down for the month and the annual rate did not increase. If we were on a runaway inflation train, we would have seen results a lot closer to what we saw last month.
We should mention that headline inflation is still higher than core inflation, which would indicate price growth in food and energy.
Now, since food inflation has actually declined over the past year, which makes sense as producers could increase supply as economies reopened, we can safely attribute that increase in headline prices almost exclusively to energy.
Yes, and oil prices are the big culprit. They're up more than 25% since this time last year, and this indicates not broad inflation across the whole economy, but energy prices being the main driver, and they are always rising and falling based on demand.
Yep. One other important note, there was actually very little price inflation overall in 2020. If we look at longer periods, what we see this year looks more like a post-shutdown catch-up than a long-term increase.
Right, a shock, not a trend.
Exactly. It's important to note that these things can change at any time. Government expenditures are way up, and that will have an impact on the money supply. We've also seen housing prices increase across the whole country, but some of that is also catch-up after the long lull that was created after the financial crisis.
We pay close attention to inflation and believe that consistent investment following a long-term plan is still a great way to overcome its effect.
Absolutely. As always, remember that this material is intended for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice, a solicitation, or a recommendation to buy or sell an investment product or security. Please contact your financial professional for more information specific to your situation.
That was a wonderful disclaimer.
Thanks. We're working on that. Please subscribe to our channel if you would like to be notified about when more of these fantastic videos are produced.
Thanks for watching.